Battlefield 2042 is a great game in 2023, and I want to talk about it today. So if you enjoy the video, please be sure to give it a rating, a like, a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So playing Battlefield 2042, man, this game has been through a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a whole lot of downs, especially in the very early beginning. And you know, honestly, when it comes to first-person shooters, multiplayer games in particular, I feel like when you play them on day one, you're committing to playing the worst possible version of that game. That's just kind of the nature of those games, and it was the same with Battlefront 2, it was the same with Battlefield 5, it was the same with Battlefield 1. It's just kind of the nature. As updates happen, as things change, reworks happen, a whole bunch of stuff changes within a live service game. You're always playing the worst version on day one, and if you have not played this game yet and you're playing it for the first time now, you are in for one hell of a great Battlefield game. Now, I know a lot of the Battlefield purists will tell you that Battlefield 4 is like the gold standard and that this game is not on the same level as Battlefield 4. Personally, I did not find Battlefield 4 to be that great. I know it's crazy, but it just wasn't that good to me. It was okay. It had a great foundation, but it really didn't capitalize on a lot of the things that I thought could make Battlefield shine, and Battlefield 1 did exactly that. So personally, Battlefield 1 is my favorite one. Battlefield 1 is my favorite one. That's funny. But Battlefield 1 is my favorite Battlefield, and I have been playing Battlefield pretty much since Battlefield 3. Now, I was off and on from 3 to 4. I'd never really played as consistently as I did Call of Duty, but I played a good bit of it. Now, with Battlefield 1 coming out, that game, I poured an unhealthy amount of hours into it across 3 different platforms, be it Xbox, PS4, and PC. So I've played a lot of it. Now, getting right into it, I like the fact that DICE really took a lot of feedback into consideration. I really appreciate what they've done with the specialists, what they've done with the class reworks, new vault weapons, maps, and everything. Now, one of the cool things they did was they basically went back and they reworked the appearance of the specialists, because when they first initially launched, they did not look like characters in a warlike setting. I mean, I saw someone kind of compare them to cosplay characters. They just didn't really give that vibe of military soldiers in a struggling conflict. But I believe DICE has done a pretty good job reworking, changing their appearance, making them look more rugged, making them look like they're actually in war, and that's pretty awesome. One thing they brought back as well was the class system. Now, yes, I know you're probably sitting here saying, why did the game even launch without it? Well, I believe, and this is just personal opinion, I really feel like they wanted to try something new with 2042 and completely move away from the class system and kind of go more of a route like Overwatch, where everybody not necessarily has powers, but they have certain traits that are unique to that individual character. Obviously, didn't work out too well. They reverted back to the class system. And while it's not as potent as other games, or other Battlefield games, I do believe that it is really good. It's a great addition, and it's something that I feel they never should have left. When they added that into the game, they added Assault, Medic, Engineer, and Recon. It felt like a Battlefield game again. It felt like coming home, basically, if that makes any sense. It really did. I never realized how much I actually missed it until they brought it into the game. One thing DICE did that I really appreciated was they went back and they reworked some maps. And when I say some maps, they pretty much went back and reworked every single map in the game. I believe they deserve such kudos for this, because this is something that they did not have to do. And when you look at games like Modern Warfare 2019, Modern Warfare 2, and other multiplayer games that are not coming to mind right now, whatever map you get is just the map you get. I mean, yeah, map changes happen, but I've noticed that they're more in BRs, like, you know, your Apex Legends, your Warzones. Those games do a good job of changing up the maps, adding new points of interest and things like that. Here, they went back and changed so many maps that they don't even look like the same anymore. They look completely different. And I think that's really cool. Man, they didn't have to do that. They could have kept the maps the same and focused on other core features, but the fact that they went back, they've changed the maps, they've made them accommodate 128 players, I think that's great. That's actually another thing I want to talk about. They added the 64 Conquest, and I think that was something else that when they brought that back, it's like coming home. It's like, man, why did we need to move away from these things? This is what makes Battlefield Battlefield. Now for the next game, it makes me wonder what they're gonna do. Are they gonna go back to 128 players? Are they gonna go back to Conquest 64? I believe Conquest with 64 players is peak Battlefield. I think it is great. Conquest and Breakthrough are peak Battlefield, and the fact that we got 64 players again in Conquest, we have 64 players in Breakthrough, I think this should be the focus going forward. This is what Battlefield, I feel, it's where it really excels. 128 players is great. It can be nice as maybe a limited time event, but I was not a fan of it. I think that it is too chaotic. It's too much happening. I feel the same when they did 128 players for Breakthrough. I just thought it just doesn't fit. It's a mess. I just thought it was a big mess, and I really did not like that. Something else they've done, which I thought was cool. I know some people might look at this and think, oh, that's so lazy, but they went back and they brought back Vault Weapons. Vault Weapons are in Battlefield Portal, and Battlefield Portal is somewhat of like a little bit of a sandbox to do a bunch of crazy things within 2042. You have your Battlefield 3 maps, you have your Vietnam maps, you have all of these Battlefield games kind of like collided into like one little one little mode, and you can do custom games and all. There's bots, there's a whole bunch of stuff. People make their own servers. It's pretty cool. But I do like the fact that they added Vault Weapons. You have plenty to choose from now, and the weapon selection from now compared to launch is literally night and day. There are so many weapons in this game, so many to choose from. And one other thing to note is that since the release of the game, DICE has added over 22 weapons, I believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do know there have been a collection of brand new weapons along with Vault Weapons that have been added to the game. So there is a nice selection, and they're not completely relying on Vault Weapons to kind of fill that catalog of new weapons. And coming up pretty soon, at the time of making this video, we're in Season 4. In Season 5, they're going to give us the ability to add attachments to Vault Weapons. Before, or currently I should say, we can't do that. We have to use whatever the weapon has equipped. So now we can add different attachments to like an M16, an M4, an AK-74U. They are doing such a good job of adding to this game, trying to make it the best Battlefield possible. And I know in my previous video, I just said I am so tired of having this conversation where we're looking back and we're saying, oh, this game's great now when it should have been great at launch. I still maintain that belief. But when I look at what has gone on with Battlefield 2042, I can appreciate that they are going above and beyond. I mean, come on, reworking every single map on top of giving us a new map every season. Now, I understand where people can look at that and think, wow, only one new map. But when you look at how big these maps are, when you look at the sandbox, when you look at everything you can do on these maps, I think that it's still it's pretty good in my opinion. I would like 2 maps a season plus a rework, but you can't have everything. And the fact that we're even getting reworks, again, I'm really happy about that. Next season, Season 5, we're going to be getting a rework of the map Hourglass, which is personally one of my favorite maps. But I can't wait to see what they do with that. I believe the reason why they chose it last is because it's taking the most time, and I think it actually is the biggest map in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is. So yep, Battlefield 2042 is in a very good spot. We got a specialist rework of their appearance. We got the class system back in the game. We got map reworks, plus a new map a season, new Vault Weapons. I mean, come on. And now they're going back, they're bringing squad management back in the game. And I know, again, I'm going to say this again, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I know you could sit here and say, why are they just adding features that should have been there at launch? Well, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not too happy about that, but at least we're getting it. How would you feel if we weren't getting it at all? But if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Like I said, Battlefield 2042 is a very good game in 2023, and I do recommend that you give it a shot. It's on Xbox Game Pass. I'm pretty sure if you want to just buy the retail version, it should be relatively cheap, and it's on EA Play Pro, so it's pretty easy to get a hold of. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a rating and all that, share it on your favorite social media platform, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, have a great day.